42% of Canadians are functionally illiterate, and that's not the immigrants and stuff. That's just basic Canadians.
Is that so?
Yeah. And so Statistics Canada and some of the other people that track that. You wouldn't
Shocking.
think about
no,
that.
I would never
Yeah.
guess.
That's okay.
And you're with Literacy and Evangelism Canada,
Yes.
based where?
Our office is in Arnprior, Ontario, which is in the Ottawa Valley, near Ottawa, about
Yep.
an hour out of Ottawa. But we moved around because I am the office, so wherever I go, it goes with me.
Okay, it's all up here.
Yeah, in Canada.
Uh-oh.
But we're just one of about 18 different member nation organizations. So we have our founding organization in the USA, but then we've also have member nations in 18 different countries. So that doing the same type of work,
Yeah.
but kind of they have their own independent organization, but we're networked.
Before we get into that
Yep.
work,
What do we
like,
do?
I want
Yeah.
to get there, but you say 18 spread around the world, like continentally, where are you?
We have a number of member nations in Africa, some in Latin America. We've got some, not member nations in Asia, but we have people that have working in our ministry
Okay.
area in
Yeah.
Asia. But we work with a lot of churches and organizations. to
Is
equip
most of
them.
your work church-based?
Yes.
Tell
Yeah.
me a little bit more about that.
So we are looking at doing adult literacy
Yep.
and English as a second language
Mhm.
equipping ministry. So our goal is to open the Bible. That's a locked book to people who can't read and write.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I was just looking at Revelations 1:3. That this conference is based on Revelations 1,
Yeah.
and 1:3 is one of our verses we like. Is blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of the prophecy,
Yeah.
and blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written in it, for the time is near.
Wow.
And so that kind of
For the time is near.
time is near,
Yeah.
right? So our whole goal is that people would be able to read and prosper in the Word of God and to know Him through that and to be blessed by that. So
Yeah.
we
Wow.
have, so we worked, the founding organization started in 1967 in the U.S., but we've been in Canada since 2008 as an organization.
Okay.
And but our goal is just to help adults learn to read and write in their mother tongue, their local language.
Right. Okay.
And so we have worked with over 270 languages so far in the world. Statistics in Canada are like 42% of Canadians are functionally illiterate, and that's not the immigrants and stuff. That's just basic Canadians.
Is that so?
Yeah. And so Statistics Canada and some of the other people that track that. You wouldn't
Shocking.
think about
no,
that.
I would never
Yeah.
guess.
And so they hide. They're
Yeah.
hidden.
Yeah.
And they don't. A lot of them are even fairly affluent. Some of them, but they've
I
just
think I've
learned to
worked
hide
for
it.
some of them.
You may have. I don't know. But you go to like any of your in cities, the street mission
Sure.
groups and stuff, you're going to
Yeah.
find a lot. Prisons, over 60% of prisoners
Really?
are
Wow.
we say functionally illiterate. They may be able to read and write a little bit,
Sure,
but
sure.
not enough to really
Yeah.
do well
Yeah.
in a society.
So now.
So there's ministry here in Canada,
Yeah.
but literacy, but also then the English as a second language. So one of the hallmarks of our materials is they all have Bible content in them. So
I think, was it you who was saying earlier that a lot of people think about missions as over there, but we have our mission field is very much right here
Yeah.
in our own
Yeah.
backyard.
exactly. So it's kind of wherever's God calling you,
Fair.
And some people it's here local, and others it's international, but here it's almost like God's brought the nations to us.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And so for ESL particularly, it's a great opportunity to reach out and minister to newcomers. They don't know where they are. They don't speak the language. A lot of times the kids will pick up the language very quickly, but mom's stuck at home. Dad's out working, but mom's home, and she never gets to learn.
Right.
And so she gets isolated. And so it's a way
How do you reach into that environment?
Well, if a church is starting a ministry and outreach, they kind of let people know and they start coming a little bit at a time. So we have a church in Oshawa that one of our board members was at that church and they decided they wanted to start ESL ministries. So
Yeah.
we trained their first group of 10 teachers. And the first term they had 19 students.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. And as of this last term, they had 100 students.
Get out of here.
From 17 different languages.
Wow.
17 different countries. And so God's just really opened the door for them to minister to that really felt need in their area. And it's just word of mouth.
Yep.
And one of the nice things about our materials is they're designed for non-professional teachers. So like to teach the ESL, you don't have to have a TESOL degree, or ESL degree is like within a weekend we can give you the basics for how to teach someone to speak English with using our curriculum.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's and same for literacy. If you read and write in the language, we can train you very quickly to teach someone else to read and write.
Right. Wow.
And so they're designed to be simple to use.
Where are you seeing the impact of this? Where, like, as now, you're in the churches, you're in community groups, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the impact I think we're seeing more internationally through some of our other member nation groups.
Okay.
And but we're helping to resource them with some training and stuff. But we've trained them in the past, and now they're doing that in their areas.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was just in Ghana in September.
In Ghana?
Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana. In Africa, not Guyana, but Ghana.
Right. I make the mistake all the time.
Yeah, but and so they've been doing ministry there, and they've got a partnership with PAOC, the Pentecostal Church.
Yep.
And so they're developing literacy materials. They're training teachers from their local churches, and they're training like hundreds at a time to go out and do literacy ministry. So
Awesome.
they're seeing this incredible fruit from that kind of thing. So
where else? What other countries do you see?
Well, we have a group in Guatemala that's doing work down there, and a group in the Mom language in Guatemala. So their goal has been to help people learn to read and write in the Mom language, to read their Mom Bible, and they've got Bible reading groups now.
It's not just English.
No.
Okay.
No.
Literacy and evangelism goes beyond any specific language.
Right.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically the literacy side is designed for any local language in any country. If there's a group that wants literacy materials that don't have them yet, then we'll work with them to develop those and then give them basic training on how to use them.
We're all about just celebrating what God is doing in the world around us. Where do you see Him working? Where specifically or generally?
So many places. It's like where is He not working? But the one example that I wanted to share with you was a group in Uganda. It's an organization called Hands Across Nations. And so they wanted to start literacy ministry in the Longo language there. So they took our training. We helped them to develop the Longo literacy materials. And then they started a literacy program called Learning to Read the Bible. That's what they called it in the Longo language. And so they were reaching out to villages and stuff where like people with disabilities and stuff kind of got shoved out from their families and into these villages, and so they weren't able to go to school and that kind of thing. So they started literacy there.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're seeing some real changes in people's attitudes and hearts and all that. But then they also got started in the prisons there, because prisoners are just sitting around with nothing to do there, and a lot of them couldn't read and write. So they trained some of the literate prisoners how to teach with the materials. So then they, like 5 days a week, were having literacy classes. And the wardens were so impressed with the changes in attitudes in the prisoners, that the fact that they weren't fighting anymore and they had to focus and the purpose and all that, that they've invited him to go to other literacy or prisons in the surrounding region to start these programs, because they just saw such a change. But then once they finished learning to read in their local language, then because English is a national language in Uganda, they then started our ESL classes, and then they learned to speak English as well.
Same.
So while they're in prison, so when they get out, now they've got skills, they've got abilities that they didn't have to be able to have a better life here. But then more importantly, they've learned about Jesus.
And it's a scripturally based.
So every language material has some scripture in it.
Yeah.
And our last stories in each literacy book have are all stories from the Bible. So it's all designed to share the love of Jesus, like we're about at this conference,
Come
right?
on. Yeah.
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 So,
Wow. That's fantastic, Carrie Jo.
uh,
I'm actually really touched by the story, and
yeah, it's exciting to see.
yeah,
I work at the higher end, so I don't always get to see the grassroots things, but every once in a
yeah,
while I get to go visit some classes, and it's just thrilling to know how God's working through those materials and just
yeah,
leading people to Him and strengthening them, because we know when we read the Bible in our own faith, it strengthens us and helps us to grow in faith and
yeah, yeah.
stay stay strong.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so
As a man thinketh, so is he.
yeah,
Right
for
on.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're working in Canada, but we're working all over the world too. So anybody who has an interest anywhere, we can work it out.
I like
we're
that.
we're a small organization. We're very flexible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Carrie Jo, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for taking time to share your vision
You're
and the
welcome.
work
Thank
that you
you.
do. God bless you.
And you